Make a living honestly reviewing products, but today we're going to be reviewing something I'm extremely passionate about. Las Vegas. Okay, not the entire Las Vegas, but specifically strip hotels. I'm going to give you my review on the 4 hotels I've stayed at on the strip after months of research, so you can make a confident decision the next time you go there, or you can just entertain yourself and pretend you'll stay there and watch this. I'm going to rate them worst to best, and you're going to be surprised with my worst rated hotel because not only is it the worst hotel I've stayed in Vegas, it's also the worst hotel I've stayed in my entire life. The Bellagio. If you know nothing about Vegas, you probably have heard of the Bellagio Fountains, which are one of my favorite shows, but the Bellagio Hotel is a very high-end hotel seen in a lot of Vegas movies, and my husband and I stayed here at the end of 2021 for one night, and I will say we stayed in a comp room, so we got there late on a Friday night. I was very pregnant and tired after having traveled, and first off, they didn't have the king-size bed, which we requested, which is whatever, but when we went to our 2-queen room, I went to lay in one of the beds, and it was covered in cheese dust and napkins. And then I went to the bathroom and there was long hair covering everything. I have never felt more skeeved out in my life. We told them the next day because we got to the room after 9 p.m. and we were so done. It took us forever to check in and they already said they were short on rooms, but they were pretty rude about it when we told them, and I just can never forget that experience. 1 out of 10. This next hotel I don't even want to talk about because it's closing. It's home to my favorite free strip show, which is the Volcano Show, and this hotel is the Mirage. This was a medium priced hotel and it wasn't as center strip as others, but it had awesome theming with a lot of rock and roll. But I will say one thing I really hated about this hotel was the fact that they had dolphins and tigers. I could see the dolphins from my hotel room and it truly made me sick to my stomach. Otherwise, it was a great hotel, but it's about to be changed into a guitar, so we'll see how that one rates. 6 out of 10. Next is a lesser known hotel, which is a sister hotel to the Aria, and this is called the Vdara. At the time, it was the only hotel on the strip that didn't have a casino, which I loved because your girl's asthmatic and I didn't have to hold my breath when walking through the lobby. It doesn't have any theming, but it was very clean, and I ended up seriously hurting my foot on the trip and needed an electric scooter, and they were super accommodating with that. It's such a great option for a more inexpensive hotel on the strip, but with great access to everything. 7 out of 10. And before I tell you the last hotel, if you like this type of video, let me know because your girl loves to travel and also keep it real, and I'd be glad to do more. And my favorite hotel in Vegas, which also happens to be my all-time favorite hotel I've ever stayed in, is the Wynn. My husband and I are what I like to call bougie on a budget. We did a 5-day trip to Vegas for $1,500, including flights across the country, and stayed at high-end hotels. And the reason we could afford this hotel was because of the Wynn app. There was a slots app, I'm not sure if it's still around, that you could play for free. We would keep our phones out playing the slot games. We did it every day, no lie, for over 6 months, but we ended up getting free shows, free buffets, and 2 nights at the Wynn, so it was well worth it. Not only was their buffet to die for, but the room was playing Frank Sinatra when we walked in, which was our wedding theme. They had freaking curtains that open if you asked them to, a huge jet tub, comfy robes. I just felt like royalty. The theming in the hotel is also amazing, and I really just truly loved it so much. 10 out of 10.